How's it going, everyone? It's Whiplashthesnake here, bringing you another life story. Today's a little bit of a messed up one, so be prepared for that. It's a really kind of dark story. And I'm just gonna get right into it. This story happened about 8 years ago, I want to say. Yeah, probably about 8 years ago. It was on a cruise ship, a Carnival cruise ship, and it was on its way to Mexico back in whatever year it was. And now, no, it was sometime in the fall, around the normal school fall break time. It's when we would normally go on cruise ships, take a little bit of a fall break out, go and see some shit, and normally we would have a good time. Now, the reason I say it was around 8 years ago is I remember being distinctly in the kids club at this time, and I don't know, the group I was in was 12 to 16. I'm guessing I was somewhere in the middle of that, so I'm just gonna play it safe, put it 8 years in the past, say I was 12 at the time. And this happened to be a year that we brought my cousin on a cruise ship with us, and really, this was the only time we ever brought him on any type of cruise ship. And, just hanging out around with him and a bunch of other people that we met in the kids club, that we would just spend the day just in there, playing games, talking to people. It was a good time. We made some friends there that we just hanged out with. And as cruise ships are, you could just go around the entire ship, and during these days, it was all day at sea. Like, you were just going out into the middle of the ocean, far away from any land, just miles away from it. And you would just, be out there on the ocean. It was a good time. And so we would just, walk around the ship, have a good time, talk to people, go to buffets, eat like fucking pigs, do whatever we felt like doing at the time. And basically, we just had free range of the ship. Our parents didn't really care because we're on a ship. There's not much that we can do. There's not many places we can run off to. If we get lost, well, we're on the ship. We can find ourselves pretty easily. So this gave us permission to stay out as late as we want, as long as we want, and just basically enjoy ourselves as much as we wanted on this trip. And then that all stopped this one night when it was basically either the second or third night on the trip. I don't remember which one it was, but it happened late at night, 11, 12 o'clock at night. We were supposed to be back in the room by then, but we had free reign, so parents didn't really care. They were out themselves, in the casino just gambling. And, we just were on the top deck, by the pools, by the basketball courts, just hanging out around with the friends that we had made in the kids club, just basically talking and doing whatever we felt like doing at that time. And it gets to a point where we hear a intercom come on telling everyone to head back to their rooms. And when we got back to the rooms, we found out that the captain had ordered it because they had saw somebody jump overboard from the back of the ship, and they wanted a head count from everyone in each room to see if anyone was missing. And so we all went back to the rooms. Everyone was extremely relieved when, me and my cousin walked in. They were just like, okay, good, you're not dead. And so basically that was the end of the night. We went back into our beds, we slept. We're like, well, hopefully they find whoever jumped overboard. Next morning rolls along, we're having breakfast back up on deck. And at this point, we were just circling, The ship was just completely stopped. We were just going around in a circle around where the person had jumped off. And everyone was basically looking for him. We had the Mexican Coast Guard out, just trying to find whoever jumped overboard in the water. And this is something that we learned when we were just sitting on deck, and the captain came on this giant screen that was up on deck by the pools, and he gave us the entire rundown of what had happened. He said that late last night around 12 o'clock, a man was seen jumping off the edge of the ship. He jumped from the main deck in the back of the ship, and we are going to be looking for him for the next so many hours. And everyone from that point on was just like, well, shit, hopefully they find him. And no one really cared. I mean, on this day we were supposed to go into port. I think it was Mazatlan or something like that. But no one really gave too much of a shit. I mean, come on, man overboard. They need to find that person, right? And so luckily, no one on the ship was that selfish that they were complaining, oh, why can't we just go to Mazatlan? They jumped over the ship by themselves. They can stay in the ocean. No, everyone was genuinely concerned, and we were just continuing to look for this guy. You could just go on the deck, and you would see people sitting there, just, looking over the railings, just, trying to see if they could spot anyone. And so, this goes on for, an entire day. We circle this area, And then the cruise just finally comes on the radio. Everyone just hears the intercom and they're like, we're abandoning the search. It's been 24 hours. And we are continuing on our journey and letting the Mexican Coast Guard continue the search. And at this point, they gave the identity of the person who had jumped overboard. They told us that it wasn't any of the guests. They had done a crew roll call for like all of their crew on the ship to make sure it wasn't any of them. And it turns out that one of their people had jumped overboard. And you know, that's not the best thing to hear, you know. Why are the crew members committing suicide? That doesn't sound very good. But so we continued on the trip, you know. The ship continued full speed, basically, going to every single port. We had to go basically at an accelerated rate here because we had lost almost the entire day searching for this guy. But, you know, no one really cared because we were concerned for this guy's safety. But so 3 days go by, we hear absolutely nothing. We go through all the ports, and then finally on the last day of the ship, you know, when we're going back to California, you know, going back to our normal lives, getting off the ship, we hear the news that he was not found, they don't know where he was, and they had stopped the search. And basically we deduced that since he had jumped off the back of the ship, he was immediately sucked up by the rear propellers of the ship and was cut up to death. Really, really extremely dark stuff. I'm sure that they had a memorial service for him on the ship after they had found out about this news. And so, I don't know why I decided to share this with you guys. It's kind of a dark story, so I hope you at least somewhat enjoyed it, because, you know, not many people experience that when they go onto a cruise ship, you know. That's supposed to be one of the most carefree places on the planet, but, you know, that didn't happen this trip. And, you know, we can still hope that he washed up on shore somewhere. He came up to Mexico, you know, he's just living a good life down there. Drinking margaritas on the beach, you know, having a good old time. We can hope that, but we don't know what happened. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. And if you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. I would love a new addition to the Snake Army. I'm sorry this video was a little bit of a downer. I mean, it was kind of a heavy story, so if you want to have something to cheer you up, might as well go check out another channel since my video's over. Check out Soron, like, for example. He has about 1,500 subscribers. He deserves way more. Go please check him out. Let him know I sent you, and I'll see you on the new video tomorrow. As always, Whiplash signing out.